Welcome to the Daily Block, the top events happening in the past day in crypto and why they matter, quick, brutal, and slightly memey. SEC and CFTC staff say regulated exchanges can list spot crypto products. The staff from the SEC's Trading and Markets and divisions of the CFTC put out a joint statement saying SEC-registered national exchanges and CFTC-registered markets are not outright prohibited from facilitating trading in certain spot crypto products. This is a staff view, non-binding, and it comes with an invitation to market participants to engage with regulators, but it also signals a coordinated and potentially faster review path for regulated venues that want to offer spot crypto. Exchanges still must meet existing legal and compliance requirements, and nothing here magically immunizes bad actors or dodges enforcement. Why it matters for crypto investing: removing a big regulatory ambiguity materially lowers the barrier for U.S. regulated venues to list spot products, which means more venue choice, deeper liquidity, and easier institutional on-ramps that can move prices. Risk/counterpoint: staff guidance is not new law, it can be reversed, litigated, or narrowed, so any price move should be treated as conditional on actual rule changes and exchange filings clearing the legal bar. Moving on, big wallet energy incoming. Galaxy Digital bought roughly 4.7 to 5.3 million SOL, about a $1.16 billion move according to on-chain data, and most of it landed on Coinbase Prime in a short window. The buys line up with Solana's several-day rally and the forward drama around Forward Industries, which is being pitched as a Solana treasury vehicle supported by several large firms. Galaxy publicly framed the accumulation as strategic rather than passive, and moving the stash to Coinbase Prime screams institutional custody rather than solo hodling in a burner wallet. Why it matters for crypto investing: coordinated, enormous buys from a name like Galaxy can sustain rallies, suck up order book liquidity, and pull momentum traders into SOL, so open interest, funding rates and order book depth become critical signals. Risk/counterpoint: concentrated institutional accumulation can flip into fast profit-taking or create single-actor liquidity risk, and headlines about strategic allocations do not guarantee long-term buy and hold behavior. Next story: bridges doing bridge things. Shibarium's bridge was violently exploited through a flash loan plus manipulation of validator signatures, allowing the attacker to push fraudulent checkpoints on Heimdall and drain about 224.57 ETH plus roughly 92.6 billion SHIB and exposure to 9. Developers immediately halted staking and unstaking, engaged Texans and Peck Shield for forensics, and contacted law enforcement, while some assets were blacklisted on-chain and teams hint that funds might be recoverable or subject to negotiation. Why it matters for crypto investing: bridge and L2 exploits trigger instant token dumps, create cascades into correlated meme coins, and massively elevate volatility, making leveraged positions especially dangerous. Risk/counterpoint: forensic work and legal action have recovered assets before in some cases, so outcomes are not always total loss, but the timeline is uncertain and litigation or recovery negotiations can take months. Smoothing into stablecoin chaos now. Polychain-backed YALA stablecoin, U, was attacked and briefly dumped to about 20 cents before recovering partially to roughly 90 cents, prompting the protocol to pause convert and bridge functions and call in slow mist and fuzzland for incident response. On-chain liquidity in the primary ETH pool was thin, roughly $784,000 USDC, which explains why an attack could shove the peg hard. The team says user assets are safe while they investigate. Why it matters for crypto investing: even niche or emerging stables can create sudden liquidity shocks, violent arbitrage flows, and margin stress across connected markets, so wallets and leverage positions that rely on these stables are exposed to outsized risks. Risk/counterpoint: small-scale and quick protocol actions can limit contagion, but repegging and full technical audits take time, and thin liquidity means any future shock could be amplified. Slide over to the ETF theater. The SEC pushed the decision date on Bitwise's spot Dogecoin ETF application to November 12, keeping the Dogecoin ETF story alive but extending the suspense window, while other Dogecoin ETF filings from 21 Shares and Rex Osprey/Doye continue to progress toward potential Q4 clustering. This is part delay, part regulatory pacing, and part market tease that keeps retail and options desks frothing. Why it matters for crypto investing: ETF timelines drive headline flows, retail FOMO, and options volatility in Doge, so delays can sap short-term rallies while stacking the setup for more explosive inflows if approvals come in bunches. Risk/counterpoint: the SEC could still reject or significantly condition approvals, and the market may have partially priced in hopeful outcomes that won't materialize. Next, borders and on-ramps. Pakistan's newly formed Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority put out an expression of interest asking global exchanges to apply for local licenses under strict AML/KYC and jurisdictional recognition rules, claiming roughly 40 million crypto users and about $300 billion in annual trading, numbers that would make any exchange drool. They plan rolling approvals and want to legitimize and tax the flow rather than ban it, which is a notable pivot from many prior stances in emerging markets. Why it matters for crypto investing: a regulated, large retail market opening up can channel massive trading and stablecoin liquidity, so exchanges and projects that secure local partnerships or compliant access can see real demand bumps. Risk/counterpoint: regulatory implementation, enforcement infrastructure, and political changes could slow or complicate rollouts, and headline numbers from regulators are often optimistic versus on-chain reality. Smooth transition to listings. Coinbase published a public, step-by-step guide to its digital asset listing process, insisting applications are free and merit-based, a transparency play coming as accusations of listing fees swirl and as Coinbase faces intensified competition and revenue pressure. The move looks like a PR and compliance play to fend off rivals and regulators while trying to keep new token inflows steady. Why it matters for crypto investing, which exchange lists a token, and how, materially impacts token liquidity, price discovery and initial post-list pumps, so changes in listing behavior ripple into who gets early access and who gets left bag holding. Risk/counterpoint, a public guide does not eliminate backdoor relationships, placement deals, or off-chain incentives, so perception of fairness may improve even if practice evolves more slowly. Finally, meme coin mania gets a Kraken garnish. Look On-chain flagged a newly created wallet that bought about 1.52 trillion Pepe, roughly $16 million, on Kraken, the biggest single Kraken purchase for Pepe seen to date, which naturally lit up Twitter threads and FOMO. Analysts warned that on-chain user activity for Pepe is trending down and that large whale buys in thin markets are textbook pump setups that often end with a whale exit. Why it matters for crypto investing. Massive exchange buys in low-cap meme coins can spark sharp squeezes and retail influx, but they are also classic setups for quick dumps, so exchange order book depth and immediate liquidity metrics are key signals. Risk/counterpoint, whales sometimes accumulate for long windows and can hold, but assuming durability in tiny markets is a dangerous habit. That's the rundown. Smash subscribe for more daily chaos, charts, and unapologetic takes that actually help you see the flow. That's today in crypto, where the gains are imaginary and the pain is real.